Hey, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Making Moves. I'm here today with an icon, the founder and chief brand officer of Poppi, Allison Ellsworth.
Ooh, I'm so excited to be here today.
I am so excited that you're here.
You're a Poppi girly.
I am a huge Poppi girly. I have been buying Poppi for years, I feel like now, and I just got on the PR list, and it's literally my dream come true.
Oh my God, I'm so excited you're on it because they are kind of iconic.
You are.
It's like the best mailers. So I'm so happy, and I'm so happy you're like a Poppi girly. Like literally, if you
Huge
get it,
Poppi
you
girly.
get it.
Yeah, if you get it, you get it.
You get it.
You know what? I think it's also like the branding is such fun. I mean, it's literally Poppi. Like it's fun. The colors are cool. It's like I feel like it's that she's that girl.
She is. It's so funny because when we designed this, we went through like a couple different phases. Like, should we do white cans? Should we do color?
Yeah.
And I was like, color screams flavor. It screams fun. But on top of it, now that we've launched it and with it, people like match their makeup and outfits to it. It's crazy.
Oh, it's like a part of my aesthetic.
I know. And I like kind of always have one in my hand. I like match my purses to
Yeah.
it. It's a moment.
You need to be like going on like Lakers courtside with your Poppi.
Oh my gosh, I've thought about that.
So actually, I have to tell you, Allison, I'm doing right now 75 hard. Have you ever heard of it?
Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of
Like
you.
me trying to get attention for 75 hard at any
No, I am
time.
so
Like,
proud
by the
of
way,
you.
Thank you. But what I've been doing is I've been sneaking Poppi into bars. When I go out or parties, I bring a Poppi with me because I can't drink alcohol.
It's like I sneak it into the movies. You're like, I'm getting in the bar.
I brought it to my friend's house when we were watching football because I was like, I know they're all going to be drinking and I want to have a fun drink. So Poppi.
I love it. And I always say like mocktails are amazing with Poppi, but you don't need to make a mocktail. Just pour it into a fancy glass.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
in a wine glass, and you feel like, okay, when it's like you're on that edge of where you're just like, I really need a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Drink a Poppi.
Okay, so I want to travel back a couple of years because
Okay.
Poppi is not that old, which is insane. It's the fastest growing soda brand ever.
It's like kind of crazy. So like we are like one of the fastest growing beverage, like non-alcoholic beverages, like
Insane.
ever. It's like there's only two other brands, like Celsius and Prime,
Mm-hmm.
and then really Poppi from kitchen to retail, like we're faster than Red Bull, Monster, Celsius, Essentia, like these huge brands. It's crazy.
It's insane. Okay, so what's the origin story? How did this all come to fruition?
Yeah, so I had some girl problems where I was always bloated, my stomach hurt, I had horrible acne, and
Hot girls have tummy issues.
I mean, it's true. It's like, come on, get it together. And I couldn't figure out what's going on. So I spent probably $10,000 going to doctors. Like they kept just giving me medications, and there was really nothing like horribly wrong with me. But what I'd realized is like what you put into your body can really affect the way that you feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing Googling of like, how do you reset and detox your body, which I know you're guilty of. We all Google our symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're all guilty of
course.
WebMD in it. And what kept coming up over and over again was drinking apple cider vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, everyone's like heard of it. It's like, oh yeah, it's a master cleanse, or you do it when you're sick, or just some weird like ailment, like you need to drink it. But I started drinking after 2 weeks. I felt amazing, but I hated the taste.
I mean, it's almost insufferable.
It's pretty gnarly, and it's one of those things where it's like, have you ever taken a straight shot?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I have to dilute it. I will never
have
be
to.
taking a straight shot again.
And it's not sustainable. Like you probably did it for like a week or two, and not even every day. It's like one of those things where you have to like pump yourself up for the situation. And I was just like, no. Love the benefits. So I was like, I got to just make this taste good, but I wanted to keep it healthy. And usually those two things, like health and taste, don't go together.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really important for me because it's like one of those things where it's like, I want my Poppi, but I want my pizza. I want like I want to do I'm not one of those people that goes like hardcore one way or the other. It's like just a little, like 5 grams of sugar, but not 0.
A little of everything. Balance.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. And then, I created Poppi, and then it got to the point where I wanted to like share it with others. I was so excited. I was feeling amazing. It didn't like, everyone's always like, did it change your life? Like with the health and wellness. And I was like, what it taught me is the path to health and wellness. So I like went gluten-free. I started working out. I started reading ingredient labels.
It was almost the catalyst.
Right. And so then I was like so excited. I wanted to like share it with everybody. So after that, went to the farmer's market and got discovered really there by Whole Foods. And
Which is crazy.
It was just like one of those moments that I didn't realize I had a business. And then we got discovered, and she was like, you should be in Whole Foods. I was like, this is crazy. I was 3 months pregnant. I just bought a house, and we just moved. And I looked at my husband. I was like, we're quitting. Like, we're not going back to work. We're going to do this and take our life savings. He's like, you're psycho. And I'm like, I know.
You're like, you think
He's
I don't
like-
know that?
It's like, I know, and that's why you love me. So
Yeah.
we went for it.
I mean, this is insane. So you
Crazy.
born and raised in Dallas or
So yeah, I
Austin?
grew up in like North Texas, like Dallas area. Went to school in Denton. Now we live in Austin. We moved down there 2 years ago because it's just like a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like better talent retention. It's just like culture, entrepreneurial, like city.
Mm-hmm. And you're a cool girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. And so is Poppi.
So is Poppi. Okay, so where and when did you meet your husband?
So you're gonna die.
Okay,
I
I'm
met him
excited.
at the mall.
Where at like Auntie Anne's?
I know, basically. I like walked into a store to buy a backpack, and he was the one like working there.
What store?
It was like a snowboard shop. He was like a snowboarder.
So
like,
he was like
we
hot
were
and
young,
cool. Okay.
so hot. He was like the hottest guy I'd ever seen. And he was like, "Can I get ice cream?" Like ice cream. I asked for ice cream. He didn't like not a drink. I was like, "Who is this person?" And we like immediately started texting. Within 5 weeks, we're inseparable. Like,
How old were you?
We were like 25.
Okay.
Yeah, we were about to celebrate our 10-year wedding anniversary.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Congrats. So you meet him and you instantly are like, oh my gosh,
Just
I'm obsessed.
Fall in love. And I worked in oil and gas research before I started Poppi.
Did you go to college?
I did for
Where'd you go?
sociology.
Where'd you go?
North Texas in Denton.
Okay, wow.
It was originally, I went to college for dance.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
And then I was like, I have no idea. One, you don't need a degree in dance to dance or to
Yeah.
teach it. I was like, this is crazy. So I took a year off and soul searched and moved to Europe for a bit and came back. I was like, what's the quickest way for me to graduate? And then I went on the road and started working oil and gas, met my husband. And then I was like, you come work with us, because I was traveling. I was like, we're in love and all these things. And we lived in Wyoming and Utah and teeny little towns for the first few years of marriage. And then it was like, okay, it's time to start a family. And that's when I kind of fell ill. And I created Poppi like during this whole like journey. And he was just like really supportive throughout all of it. And he's always like, he's a great balance. Like people always like, how do you do it with your husband? But it's like in anything in life, like find a partner that's really good at things that you're not.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is he good at that you're not?
So I'm the chaos. I'm the crazy visionary, like, you know, all of it, like
Me?
but you need the
I need to find a balance.
So
okay.
he's great. Like he runs our supply chain and our innovation and our ops and makes sure that we have these beautiful cans so then I can get on TikTok and talk about it. But he's just, you know, he has his head on pretty straight, you know, and keeps me in line with that.
So his strengths are your weaknesses and vice versa.
100%.
That's
And
incredible.
I'm very self-aware of that and I like embrace it.
Mhm.
And in business, I think with entrepreneurs in particular and founders, we tend to have egos.
Mhm.
And so this year has been a really like a path of me learning to like let people help, let go of the things that like, is it that important anymore? Should I train someone to do it? It's been like a really, really hard year of growth this last year. And now that I'm on the other side of it, I'm like, oh my goodness, I never want to go back. Like you can't do everything yourself forever.
Yeah.
So
That's something I'm
happy.
trying to teach myself.
It's really hard.
It's really hard. Do you feel like you have a big ego?
I feel like I used to, and it wasn't even like an ego of like, I want to be famous or I want people, the recognition. It was just like, I know better.
Okay.
Like I can do that better. And like, I know they're going to fail. So it's easier if I just do it myself. Like it was like that type of ego. It wasn't like I have an ego. I'm the best person in the world. So there's like different types, I feel like.
Mhm. Like it was an ego almost within your own business.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think like, look, I got a coach to like learn how to like deal with this and how to be like, so a lot of entrepreneurs, like you have all these ideas and you want to do these things, but you never actually know how to be a leader. Because being a leader is like coaching people, doing mid-year reviews and like giving feedback, you know, these type of things and being patient and being kind, like stopping and taking a second. I've always like loved my team and they love working with me. And one of my core strengths is like getting people to dream big. But like people want feedback on like why they aren't doing good or hearing an attaboy from someone, like pausing and learning those things. It's so important as a leader. So that's been like a lot of growth. And like I said, once I've learned it, I'm like, wow, this is really powerful.
Mm-hmm. What's the most interesting thing you learned from your coach that now you apply in your business?
Self-awareness.
Really?
Like
in what way?
If you can be self-aware of where your strengths are, where you're not, like take, for example, I had someone that worked for me And my schedule was really busy, and she was junior, but I saw so much potential in her and growth that I couldn't give her. So I was very self-aware, like, I think I need to get another person in place in between that she reports into, because she will be more successful and have someone that can be one-on-one and spend time with her and do these things. So I was very self-aware versus being like, I might be failing here. Who cares? Like, who cares about this person type of situation. I was just like, I saw this gap that I could not fulfill, and I put a plan in place. You can also be like self-aware around like, I'm a very powerful force when I walk into a room of like our employees, right? Like, we have right now our entire team in. I walk in, and if I'm like joking around and I say something, they might like take it as like, Allison said that. That's like really serious. We have to make that get done. And I was just like, you guys should get like costumes and go to the Lakers and be crazy and like, let's have fun, you know? And I'm like totally joking, but they might say it. I was like, I have to be self-aware of like, maybe I shouldn't say stuff like that.
Oh, like in the room you're in type of thing.
Yeah,
Got
like
it.
the words that I say, they might take as like serious. And I'm like, no, it was a total joke.
Yeah, you almost like forget your power in a way.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm a mom of 3. I hang out and I go to soccer games on the weekends. I don't understand sometimes that power of like, oh, they look up to me.
Your influence.
Exactly. Yeah, the self-awareness of that's been nice to understand.
Wow. Okay, this is very fascinating. Okay, I want to travel back a little bit. So you make this beverage and you start going to farmers markets, and you're calling it Mother Beverage?
Yes, Mother Beverage at the time.
Okay, that was the name of it.
Yeah, we named it after the mother of vinegar.
Oh.
So like the stuff that like floats around the bottom is called the mother vinegar. So everyone's like, oh, you did it because you're a mom. And I was like, yeah, but no, it was the mother vinegar.
Oh, that's what it's called at the bottom of vinegar?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Like the like culture-y, like floaty stuff.
Okay.
The good stuff.
So you call it Mother Beverage, and you start selling at the farmer's market, and randomly like one of your customers happened to be a Whole Foods Connect. Like, explain that to me.
So she was just there, and she's like, look, I'm here with my mom. Whole Foods is from Austin, Texas. So they're like a Texas brand. She's like, I'm up here. This was when we were in Dallas. And she's like, here's my card. I never do this, but there's nothing like this in Whole Foods. You guys have to be in Whole Foods. And, you know, that was like one of the many moments that changed our life, because that was when I was like, oh, we have a business and we put our life savings. But we decided from that second to open our own manufacturing facility, which I highly do not recommend to do, because you should be focusing on your brand rather than producing it. But it was really good for us for that time. And it allowed us to scale to then get to a point where we're like, let's go on Shark Tank.
Yeah. We have to talk about Shark Tank. This is insane. How big was Shark Tank at the time when you went on with your husband?
So it was like season 10. So Shark Tank had been around for quite a while. This was back in, I think, like 2019 when we did this.
Did you watch it as a fan?
Oh, I was obsessed.
Same.
Yeah. Like I watched, but you know what? I watched every single episode, and then I've been on and I've never watched it again.
That makes sense.
Because it was like, okay, I've been there. Not like
and
been
you know
there,
how it works now.
done that, but it was like, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it was so crazy. And now I'm like, okay, I've done that. Like, now what's my next goal? Yeah.
Who was your favorite shark as a viewer?
I would say, like, I always had an affinity probably to, like, Mark Cuban, because I was a Dallas girly.
Yeah.
So.
Uh-huh.
But, and it was funny because he was, like, one of them in there with the tank. And he was so kind, but he was like, hey, where's your manufacturing facility? And we're like, oh, it's off Harry High. Like, he was wanting to just like, have a conversation. And then someone screaming, like, what's your revenue? Like, on the other side.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do we do here? This is crazy.
That is crazy. So I know you've talked a little bit about this on podcasts, how insane the process is, like, of you not knowing what the next step will be, kind of when.
Yeah, it's like, it's totally blind. And we did something that I think is a little bit rare. We went to like an open casting call and stood in line, like at the convention center downtown.
In Dallas?
Dallas.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I think a lot of people, they fill out like a form and go online.
Got it.
And then, or Shark Tank reaches out to successful brands and asks for them to go on the show too. But we were in line and they were like, someone's like, this is my candle company, or that, like, we were just like, oh my gosh, we have no chance. Like, this is not going to happen. But we ended up just over the next 6 months going from, you know, they do like a background check, then you do like a video you send in to the producers, then they do a live, you know, Zoom, and then you do a script, and then you get to that, and then you don't find out till 2 weeks before you are actually going to go on the show. And then they're like, you're going to LA.
And you were so pregnant.
I was so pregnant.
Which is mind-boggling to me because you were, what, 9 months pregnant?
9 months pregnant.
Were you not, like, scared out of your mind?
You know, it was my second. I'd already had a baby, so I was like, okay,
Been more of a lay of the land.
Been here. I know, like, I had a very healthy pregnancy. I got, like, all the check marks from my doctor that I could fly. But I do remember my sister was in LA where they film, and I was like, if I have the baby, at least I can go to my sister's house.
To have it?
Yeah, no big deal. I know, I'm crazy. I tell everyone I'm crazy. But no, I had the baby 10 days after I was on the show.
That is insane.
Like, so pregnant.
Were you distracted because of the pregnancy at all, being on Shark Tank? I mean, I would be. But you seemed so cool.
That's such a good question. So it was so funny because I remember backstage right before we were about to go on, and I was like sitting in a chair and like rubbing my belly and being like, I can't get nervous because I can't send myself into labor. And it was almost like a beautiful thing because I would look over to my husband. He's like pacing. He's like pouring sweat. He like can't like
classic man
function. And if you look back, oh my goodness, it's to this day he can't handle it. But like his lip is also, and I'm just like, I'm very like, you know, put together, and like he's just like sweating and nervous. So I think it was like a blessing because I was like, I can't get nervous. Even though I'm sure I was like extremely nervous, but I just remember being calm for some reason.
What was like the craziest part about that process? Like the behind the scenes, the stuff we don't see as a viewer? Like what's something or a tidbit you could share with us that is like, you would never believe this happened?
Okay, so I'll say 2 things. So like one is there's a huge like, I don't know, myth that Shark Tank takes some of your company. So a lot of people,
like a percentage?
A percentage. There's like a huge myth that people are like, oh, I don't want to go on the show because I don't want to give Shark Tank some of my company. That is 1,000% a myth. They do not, and they're wonderful through the whole process. Like the producers, they've been doing it. Like they've won like Emmys and stuff for their show, like or whatever. So I think it's like one of those things that's like like I constantly hear that over and over. Well, I don't want to do that because of this. Another thing, like it is, I know I said it, but it's like it's so secretive. Like we didn't find out who our sharks were until the night before. Like 10 o'clock at night, and we had to be on set at 4 a.m. the next day.
No.
Yeah. So it's like we had like 5 hours to like register like who we were going to go pitch to. And so I think that's another thing. People are always like, oh my gosh, you have to know who they are ahead of time, and you don't.
Did you adjust your pitch?
No.
Knowing who the sharks were? Because you had 2 guest sharks, didn't you?
We had 2. We had Bethany Frankel, and
who I love.
She was so mean.
I'm so sorry. No, I watched the clip.
She is so mean. She was like so mean. But and you know, we always thought like when we found out the night before, we were like, she's gonna be so nice. She had like her margarita company, and
she's
like
a boss ass bitch.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, she'll respect like me being a female founder, like coming on like pregnant. And she was like, not the nicest, but it is a TV show. Like they are there to make good TV.
Yeah.
So I think like that was a part of it. I'm sure she's a very kind person in like reality.
She probably regrets not investing.
So fun fact, which I don't know if I've said this before, but Rohan, spoiler alert, we got to deal with Rohan Oza, who is amazing. The best.
Literally couldn't be a more perfect shark for y'all.
The best shark ever. But I guess like Bethany Frankel like looked at Rohan and was like, hey, you want to do this deal together? And he said no. Because he wanted it for himself, and he told us afterwards. She called him and was like, dude, what the heck?
That's hilarious.
I was like, okay, that's good though. He was like, no, I want this all to myself, because he saw like so much in it and the potential. He was like,
Well, you know what? It would have made sense for her because she has such a beverage background with Skinny Girl and stuff. But he is so awesome. I mean, I love her. I'm sorry that you had that experience.
No,
with
it's
her.
like I'm a big fan as well. So don't get me wrong. Like,
yeah.
At all. I made her take a shot of straight apple cider vinegar,
which is hilarious. I love that you did that.
I would be mad at me too.
Yeah. But Rohan, can you explain for a viewer that doesn't know who he is and his legitimacy within the beverage business? I mean, he literally couldn't be a more perfect shark for y'all. Can you explain a little bit of his background?
Yeah. So his nickname is the Brand Father.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
He builds brands. So he started his career at Coke, worked there for a really long time. He has a little bit of an entrepreneurial, like crazy spirit to him as well. He's insanely smart. Left and then worked at Vitamin Water by,
he's the beverage king.
He is the one that like put together one of the first celebrity deals. Like he did 50 Cent in Vitamin Water for, you were probably like not even
born
yet.
Which is insane.
And then he did Justin Timberlake and Buy, and there's like this whole like like they did those commercials and it was like this whole thing. But it was like his idea to like start doing a lot of that stuff back in the day. And yeah, and I mean, like there's literally no one out there that's done what he's done in the beverage world. Like it was a perfect match.
So when you got the deal, because you guys wanted, I think, him to take 10% of your company and he ended up taking 25%. When you got the deal, were you just like freaking out? Like what was your feeling like?
We were at the point where we were going to have to like go out of business. Like we needed money, and it wasn't like we needed money to keep like the manufacturing going. It was just like, it's a family. We'd been grinding for like 3 or 4 years, and Steven was working like a second job, and we had another kid on the way. We had a mortgage. It was just like, look, we have to like figure out something. So we were like going on to get a deal. And then the night before we found out it was Rohan, we went through the scenarios of like how high we would go, and immediately he said, I think like as high as we would go, and we were just like, deal. Like there was no negotiation at that point. Like if he would have done like 50% of the company, like there would have been probably like a back and forth. But he actually gave us a very fair offer for like what we were and where the company was at.
And now is he still as involved as he was when he made the deal, or what's his involvement now?
So he's very involved. He's on our board. We have monthly or every other month like marketing sessions and brainstorms, and we're constantly on the phone. So look, like Poppi is rare air. Like nobody's ever seen this type of growth. I mean, we're 3.5 years old with everything that's going. So he's very focused on this. Is like, it's fun. Like it's really fun, like what we're doing. And it's like, there's no even experiences that he's had. He's just like, look, I don't even know how to deal with this. This is crazy, you guys. So he's like it's like fun for him again, I think. So he's really enjoying it, and we appreciate it.
I mean, it's got to be one of the most successful Shark Tank stories ever.
I think ever.
I mean, that's insane.
We don't talk about it, and like they always do.
It's not talked about enough.
No, they like don't. Like I think you have to share your revenue numbers and stuff to like get on their Instagram and stuff, which we're not ready to do that. But I do potentially will say that like, you know, in the next few years we can be like, we're the most successful. That's our goal. Rohan is always that. He's like, I'm going to make the next $1 billion brand, and he's going to be the most successful Shark Tank deal ever. Like that is always, he's always said that. So
why do you not want to share your revenue with them yet?
Yeah, so it's just like one of the things you don't do. You know, it tells like your competitors like where you're at, and then it's also like, I don't know, it's an interesting world. I will be honest, like I don't fully understand. Like I want to scream it from the rooftops and just be like, this is like crazy. But I also get it. It's like you have to be careful and keep some stuff close to the heart.
What did Rohan bring to the table that you guys were not expecting, that really like shifted gears for you guys as a company?
I think what it goes back to is a lot of, so like Rohan has a VC as well called Kavu Ventures, and a lot of VC money is like they come in and like there's ones that like to operate, so like they come in with like heavy operations, they want to be very involved. There's some that are like, look, we're money, we'll stand back, let you do your own thing. And then what Rohan really does, which hence his name, is he's very marketing and brand first. So from day one we made the decision to be a brand first company. So after getting like the deal, we took about 9 months off of having like Mother Beverage to go through the rebrand. And a lot of brands launch. So like a lot of them will be like, we'll go to market, and then they kind of figure out who they are and who their consumer is. It's like we did like a ton of research before launch, being like, we are Poppi. We are revolutionizing soda for the next generation. We are 5 grams of sugar or less, and we are fun. You know, like we knew. So coming out the gate, we were really strong. And he had all of that knowledge, where I don't think you typically get that from like a VC, like a standard like venture capital firm.
Yeah, the nitty gritty knowledge.
Yeah, like the money of like your investment firms like usually aren't going to be like, be brand first. They're going to usually be like, what are your numbers?
When he suggested the rebrand, were you all in, all on board, or were you a little, because this was your baby, were you a little like, oh, I don't want to rebrand, like Mother Beverage, like slay, love her?
No, it was hard at first. It was almost like renaming your child.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just saw the potential. Like when we first got it, he's like, look, the founder story is amazing. The product, the liquid is amazing, but your branding sucks. And we're just like, yeah, you know what? We'd never really thought about it. But once we like got into it and went through the process, I did realize like I am a very creative person, and it was a very collaborative process. And then through launch, and then I do still run like all of our creative and brand to this day. So it's like one of those things that it was just like giving me that confidence, be like, you have this in you, like let's do it, and then like keep charging forward.
And what was your first flavor that you launched with?
Yeah. So it's crazy. When I first, in my kitchen, the first flavor I ever made was raspberry rose.
Okay.
It's like our OG. Our
had
ginger
that last
lime is like our OG. The orange, which is really funny, it used to be our orange cinnamon. So we used to think we were like a sister to kombucha and like could have like a little bit more fun. We had
Well,
like
the packaging
lavender,
used to look like
lemon.
that.
Yeah. And then we realized people just like, if you're a soda replacement, like they just want orange. They want grape. They want
They want
strawberry.
the fun flavors.
Like
Dog pop.
Dog pop. Yeah. And so it's like one of those things that like throughout the process, like I grew up in Texas, cherry limeade Sonic. Like, I don't know if you've ever
Oh, Sonic?
Like, I made that one over one weekend. I formulate like most of our flavors.
Get out. How do you do that?
Yeah. I mean, I started my kitchen. Like that's like basically,
You're
I
just
think we
making
have
potions.
we have like 11 flavors and I'm very involved. We now have like a team that helps with it. But like, I think like of them, 9 are still my original recipes.
Oh my gosh.
crazy.
Allison, that's so impressive.
It's so wild. Now, like my husband does a lot of it. I'm like taste testing and directing from afar, but it's still a pretty special process.
When you were with Rohan, was this the original packaging?
Yeah.
Or has it
so
changed?
that's what I'm saying. Like this is like our number one flavor, our strawberry lemon. And we went through this whole rebrand and we met with different people that did different fruits. So a lot of times you see like a fruit packaging and someone that does like a real lemon. We were like, well, we want this to be a work of art and be more abstract. And so this is like our take on it. I think we launched with like 6 flavors. Now we've extended. So we do all of the design in-house with my team now.
And this was the original
It was.
packaging and font and everything. How did you decide on all of this?
9 months of work.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still like designing. I mean, we're launching new flavor this week. We're doing so many like fun things. So we're constantly doing it. But when we first launched this, it was like we were like a better for you soda. So it says like for healthy gut on here. And then it's like be gut happy, be gut healthy. We're actually changing all of our cans that are rolling out this year to be more soda forward. Because like if you're just a gut health brand, like that's very niche.
It is very niche.
Yeah, and so like we're seeing
It's
like
very
it's
niche.
very niche. So like we're changing. It's gonna be like it's time to lift soda again and like stuff. It's the exact same everything, but like the design will stay the same. It's just like a few of the little words,
A little tweaks.
which is like fun. I'm excited to roll that
Yeah.
out.
I mean, I'm the type of girl that I'm going to judge a book by its cover.
100%.
Sorry, I'm going to. This jumps at you when it's on a
Screams.
shelf. Like literally when I'm in Erewhon, I'll be like, oh, I should try something new. I literally have these at home. Why am I buying them? Like, why am I buying? It jumps at me on the shelf.
It's so
Because it's so fun and rainbow and like it pops at you.
It's like one of
Literally
those
Poppi.
things. I know exactly. That's why we named it Poppi.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing like what you were saying. Like we were back in the day, this Better For You, when we were deciding to do this. Everything Better For You was white. It's like healthy, white,
Or like maybe
clean.
green too. Like
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or earthy tones. or
Kale.
whatever. Yeah, exactly. We love some kale. But we were like one of the first Better For You colorful brands, like in the drink space. I think like there's some other like Better For You, like Skinny Dip almonds. They're like really cute packaging.
Yes.
Like I'm not saying like we're the first to the game, but since then there's been quite a few more. But I will say we were one of the first.
What are your most popular flavors?
So definitely our strawberry lemons are number one.
Really?
It's our number one. by
Why do you
far.
think?
Maybe it's like all I talk about. No,
You know what though?
it just tastes so good.
It does, and everyone loves strawberry and lemon together. Like you think lemonade, like strawberry lemonade,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah, it is exactly. And pink. People love pink. Because like our most like rammed or socially posted is our raspberry rose, like the baby pink. And then I think like people they tend to go into like everyone has like a flavor. So like our Doc Pop, which is our Dr. Pepper Dew.
That's my favorite.
It's like it is crazy. It's like one of our top sellers. So it's just like, what's your flavor of the day?
Got it. What would you say is your demographic? Or who would you say is your demographic?
So we talk about this. Our demographic is it's a word we made up.
Okay.
It's the Gen Zennials. So it's
Gen-zennials.
Gen Z and millennial.
Okay.
So we are a TikTok brand. We are digital first, like community driven. And the people that are on these platforms are like millennials and Gen Zs. Now, which we were talking a little bit before this, like we're doing cable to reach like other audiences that aren't on the socials. But that's definitely our main.
Who's an audience that you would love to tap more into that you haven't really yet?
Men. Yeah, it's like women are the people that shop for the household. So like we have a ton of men that love Poppi. It's like they love it, whatever. But like our socials and like our following always is like 90% female. And so for us, like we are starting to tap into like up until this year, we'd never ran an ad like going after men. We opened it up this year and it's performing just as well. So it's almost like we were like, why weren't we doing that before?
Yeah.
But we're seeing like everyone does want for that. It is like more of a girly brand. We're not going to change the brand, but it's like men can wear pink too.
Yeah, of course. You almost need like Taylor Swift drinking this in the Chiefs suite.
Oh my God. Okay. Can you get me her number?
That would be a
like,
dream.
where can that happen?
Because she's all over the NFL and I love it.
It's so good. Yeah. And I think that it's like, it's disruptive. It's different. It's like, you know, the position of Poppi and like the way we went through it is, if you kind of think of, when you think of soda, it's an emotional connection you have to something. So the movies, a cookout, friends, with a burger, with a pizza, like you think of soda of like, it's an emotion. It's not necessarily like a product. And that emotion invoking is what people call as a brand at the end of the day. So I feel like what Poppi has done is we've given people the freedom to love soda again without all the sugar and the artificial ingredients and all those things. So there's this resurgence, especially since COVID, that people are like, health and wellness for the first time ever. I'm actually thinking about it. So, you know, to replace your soda with Poppi has been like, I think really eye-opening, and like men are seeing it too now. We just like weren't talking to him.
Oh, my
before.
brother is obsessed and he's like the biggest bro-y guy ever.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think it's just one of those things where they have to taste it because they're
100%.
they're like, oh, that's such fun packaging that I can't be cool liking it type of thing. You know what I mean?
Our number one problem at Poppi is brand awareness.
Really?
Like, I mean, as any new brand.
Yeah.
It's our number one goal. How many people can we tell about Poppi? We have like a really high, like from awareness to trial. So like if someone's aware of it, like they usually will move over to trial and then like stick around. But we're just like still, you know, 3.5 years old. There's a lot of people that just don't know who we are.
Do you know what state buys the most Poppi or is most popular in?
So it's interesting, since we're such like a digital first brand, a lot of companies or like better for you products will start like on the West Coast and, you know, New York or whatever, and then like work yourself in. But we do really well in Middle America because soda is drank in Middle America. So like one of our
You need it on tap at a gas station.
Girl, you don't even want to know what we're launching this week, which
Shut up.
we can talk about this because this isn't even coming out. So
wow, I'm so excited.
The exclusive drop.
Okay.
So we are launching with 7-Eleven a 16 ounce.
Shut up. That's crazy.
4 males.
Oh my God, I can't
Bigger. I mean, like I'll drink a 16 ounce too. It doesn't have to be just for the males. With a new flavor, wild berry, and a blue can. It's going to be.
Yeah, because you don't really have a blue can.
We don't.
What color blue?
It's like the most beautiful blue with like purpley, like, and like I literally were doing like that is, she's getting like the access before anyone. I'm not even kidding. This is so fun.
I'm actually live right now on TikTok. No, I'm kidding.
It's okay.
I'm
Screw
kidding. Can
it.
you imagine?
But yeah, to your point, it's like we need like it and gas station. Like we need it to be everywhere. It's on the go. 16 ounce is like, the reason why it's 16 ounce is like actually at 7-Eleven, you couldn't see our cans. So I was like, just make it bigger.
Yeah.
Like in the door things.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
yeah.
Are you so excited?
I'm so excited.
In all 7-Elevens?
All 7-Elevens.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
I know. So we're launching that, I think, in February, like February 12th or something like that. So we're excited.
That is awesome. And what's the flavor again?
Wild berry.
Wild berry.
It's
so
like.
What does it taste like?
It tastes like similar to like the Celsius wild berry. I don't know if you've ever had
Okay,
that.
yeah.
It's like it's blueberry, raspberry, and strawberry.
Yum.
It's just like a yummy, just like if you like any of our berry flavors, it's very like C-store for convenience. Like it's just really yummy.
Mm-hmm. Oh
So
my
excited
gosh.
about
What
that.
has it been like working on this collaboration with 7-Eleven?
So 7-Eleven's cool. Like people
yeah,
don't
they're so
realize,
cool.
Like people don't realize like how cool 7-Eleven is, but I feel like like a dream of mine, like sometime I'll get there. 7-Eleven is a Slurpee, like a better for you Slurpee. Like how cute
Neat.
would that be? I know. But they're just really open. They're leaning full in like better for you products. Like they've been really great partners, and like it's pretty rare that you'll get like a full rollout, and they're seeing the future of the shifting these better for you products.
They have great social media too.
They kill it.
They get it.
They live in this like car world of like hype car. It's like so fun, and they're great.
Awesome.
They get it.
Yeah. Is there a world where you would ever pay like a professional athlete to like carry it every time they're walking into the stadium or like Do you know what I mean?
100% like Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We tried to get to him, but he has an energy deal.
Yeah, he does.
I know. They got him before Taylor. That was smart.
So smart.
Cheers to you. That was really smart.
Yeah. Or like a tennis player. Like, do you know what I mean?
We do
like,
work with athletes quite a bit. We do a lot of like NIL athletes, like college.
wait, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we have like a whole program. Like we have a whole college program.
Wait, I need to connect you with my brother because he does NIL deals.
Oh,
Side
heck
note.
yes.
But
yes.
Yeah. Even for
But
gifting or something.
The thing that's crazy with those that people don't realize is unless you're like really well known, people, when you work with athletes, like the only people that care are the people in their town. Like if I work with like a really famous Laker, like Dallas doesn't care.
True.
So it's like really hard with athletes unless you get one that like surpasses the masses,
like Travis.
What's happening right now, right? Because of it.
What about like a Patrick Mahomes?
I love. Yeah,
Maybe
like he would
have...
be in that world. 100%.
Because I could just so see it like them, what Travis does, basically walking in like with their cool outfit and matching it and like their stylist.
The problem is they know like how good they are and like that the marketing behind it. And so like, I mean, you just see it like in the creator world and like the deal world now. It's like even from 3 years to now, it's like the prices are bananas.
Oh, for influencers and working with someone.
It's like we've worked with J-Lo, we've worked with influencers, and you know, you definitely want a balance of celebrity and creators, but it's like one of those things where it's just times have changed. So, and they know their value and they are very valuable. So I mean, it's built our brand working with influencers.
How much would you say, because I feel like you guys nail the PR gifting when it comes to sending to like celebrities, influencers across the board. Your packaging is incredible. I mean, the robe is going crazy. People are like, where the heck do I get this robe? I get so many comments when I wear it. They're like, where can I buy this? Where can I buy this?
I know, you can't.
Which was what makes it cool, I feel. Anyway, how much does the gifting help with sales?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
So it is 100%, I mean, maybe a little, but everything that we do at Poppi through our marketing lens is brand building to that brand equity, that's like the emotional connection, the community that we're building. Like all the gifting is we're building that community with these creators, influencers, our community, or whoever, the PR, whatever we're doing. It's relationships are so important. And I just feel like if you foster those relationships and give back, like that like loyal community is the most valuable thing you can have at your brand, because then they're like out there talking about it, they're sharing it, they're getting so and so hooked on it. It's like that word of mouth. It's just like, it's a little old school if you think of it, but it isn't. It's like the new age way to do it. So yes, it does help in retail, but we don't do it because we're going to see like a jump at Target or something.
Got it. Is it more so like brand awareness, like you were saying?
100% brand awareness. And it was funny because we launched Poppi March of 2020, right when COVID hit, literally in March 3rd, right when COVID hit.
That's insane.
And the only thing we could do at that time was gifting because everyone was stuck at home. You couldn't do in real life events. You couldn't do sampling. And then creators were also desperate for content. And so we had like a crazy high open rate and post rate. We're like, oh, there's something here. And then we fostered relationships. We brought people in house to keep up. Like we have an influencer team to like keep up with those. It's just, it's so important.
Totally. Has there ever been a creator that has posted about Poppi where you were like, holy shit, I see an influx of either following or like sales, or you just felt their presence of the post?
It's so interesting. I think, you know, there's different tiers. There's like micro and macro and like super macro. It's like all of them. And then there's like celeb, and they all kind of do something different, and you'll be surprised constantly. I'm trying to think of like a certain like instance of someone, but it's like back in the day we could see a jump, like a $3,000 jump, but now like
it's so big.
It's really hard to track, and then you can do it by swipe ups. It's just like one of those things where it's like, that's once again not the reason we do it. It's just like, this is the new age. Influencer marketing is here and it's here to stay. And that's how you get your brand out there. So I would say like having a good mix of different people is really important, but usually the micro, like the lower level following people are the ones that probably convert the most. The other ones are more like brand awareness. You know, it's like 1 million above. You're not really going to see much from that, honestly. Followership, like we want them to post, but it's just brand awareness. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is so interesting. Has there ever been a celebrity that has posted that you're just like pinching yourself like, holy shit, I can't believe they're posting this on their story organically?
It's amazing. We've had Billie Eilish. We've had Hailey Bieber, Kylie Jenner, Mila Kunis, Drew Barrymore. Like, we've had so many people, or Hillary Duff, excuse me. Like, so many people post us for free just because they love the product.
Well, and it's so damn cute.
It's so cute.
It's like, this looks so cute. I want to take a photo of it.
It's like, and we get like Miley Cyrus. She's like on the beach drinking a Poppi, getting papped. And we're just like, what is happening right now?
So crazy.
It's crazy.
What was the first celebrity you saw post and you were like, holy shit, how is this real?
Oh, goodness. I want to say, I think it was Hillary Duff, which is so funny because she's like OG, like Lizzie McGuire, like from when I grew up. But her husband, he like was drinking Poppi, and she got Poppi cookies made for his birthday. And we were just like, what just happened? We reached out. She's the kindest person. She actually got on a Zoom with me because she was so fun. Like, she's so nice. She was like you'd be surprised. She's like, and I learned about it from Mandy Moore, and it was like all this, like, it was like, I was like, what is happening?
You're like, how is this real?
What is my life right now?
Yeah.
Very kind. Very, very, very kind.
Crazy. I just have to ask because I'm an influencer myself, so I'm curious.
Yeah.
You guys did a huge brand trip to the Hamptons.
Yes.
Okay. What was that experience like? Because I feel like, especially on TikTok these days, it like brand trips are like, you know, they're the talk of the town. And it's like, oh my God, who got invited? What are they doing? What's the brand like gonna put on for the creators? I just would love to hear your thought process behind it. And do you feel like it's an effective marketing strategy?
Yeah. So the last 2 brand trips we've done had kind of correlated to like our out-of-home campaigns. Mm-hmm. So we're pretty famous for putting our creators, our community, like on billboards.
Mm-hmm.
And so
which is so cool.
It's so fun, and it's just like a fun way to give back. And we found like if we put so and so on a billboard, like they're like want to post and share with their community.
Of course.
It's like so fun. So it was kind of like for us, like the last few brand trips have been geared around that, where it's like, oh my gosh, let's take us out and let's go celebrate. Take them to their billboard, type of situation. So that was like a reason of like an easy way to pick it. But when picking who to put on the billboard, it came down to like dope content. At the end of the day, like some of the content we put on, like it was stuff they'd post like 6 months earlier. We're like, this is cool. Can we get the rights to this? Can we put it on the billboard? So it wasn't
just
like
so cool.
And then having like a diverse amount of creators from body positivity to POC, right? High, low community, like is really important that we're really inclusive. So there's a lot of like that stuff that helped us decide what to do into. But this year we aren't going to do a ton, I don't think, any like, who knows? I like change my mind like every other month. But creative driven like on billboard. So now we're like going to do brand focused, but we are still going to do brand trips. So it comes down to scheduling. Usually like I feel like you guys always like run with crews. So then it's like and it's like so and so can go, then like can your crew go, because we want you to have more fun. It's like at the trips, I feel like it's so crazy if brands do trips and you can't bring your friends.
Yeah.
Like, or +1s or something, like you have to. Like,
I will say on the creator side, y'all are known for being the coolest about bringing your friends.
It's like, that's like, we want you guys
I've literally heard that from people. They're like, they're so fucking cool. They let you bring your friends. Like, it's so, and it makes it more fun.
And I don't even care if the friends have followers. Like, it's just like, how do we, it goes back to that relationship.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day. And then, so we're going to do some more fun stuff. And then we're doing like this pop-up that we're doing in LA and like doing these different things. So I think it's just, it comes down to scheduling too. Everyone's busy.
Do you feel like brand trips are a good form of marketing?
100%.
Why?
So I think if you can do it through the right lens and not like fly someone to Dubai for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I'm not saying who. But like, look, you get a lot of amplification on the brand side. We call it EMV, which is earned media value of posting. Then you put paid behind it and then you get to amplify it. And it's just a different type of content of someone being like, drink Poppi. It's 5 grams of sugar. And, you know, it builds brand, it builds character. And then it takes people out of their element to get to do something. And people like, these people are following you because they want to know what you're doing with your life. It's something different that you're doing that you're not posting about. So it's the content's more engaging. Like there's so many reasons. And then like our retailers love it. So we always go to the Hamptons because New York is our #1 market.
Oh, really?
You asked that earlier, like with like what state? Like New York's a small state, so I wouldn't say the state, but like market wise, New York is still like we kill it in New York. So we always try to like, okay, Hamptons, because then it supports our New York market with our retailers, brings awareness to that area. So like there's a lot of back-endy stuff that goes on.
When you're deciding on where to go on a brand trip, what's the thought process look like for that?
It's usually like calendar specific. So we like to say we move at the speed of culture, like Poppi. We're on the pulse. We're on the pulse. Like we don't.
You know what's cool? You're not corny.
Yeah, and a lot of these corporate companies are like, we're doing next Coachella, we're going to do this. And it's just like, we're kicking off Coachella planning next week, like a few months out. And we have like these key moments that we want to be at cultural events. So like we were at Sundance this last weekend. We're in LA. The reason we picked this weekend is the Emmys are coming up. Like everyone's in LA. So you do it when like people cultural, like the Hamptons, everyone's in the Hamptons. It's on the East Coast for that time. New York Fashion Week is another tentpole. You have Ultra Fest, you have Art Basel, right? So we usually like have fun with it and try to connect to a cultural moment. So versus being like, we want to go big in Aspen.
Yeah. What's so cool about you and your brand is that like I was just talking to Allison for like 20 minutes before we started recording, and like you were so immersed with just culture as a person. You're so immersed in just what's going on. Like you were like, I love going to music festivals. You need to come to ACL. Like the fact that you know what's going on, you know what's cool and what's going on really translates with your brand, which makes it effortless.
Well, I'll take it. Thank you.
I mean, it makes a big difference.
I will, but I always say that like as brands, if you want to be like a TikTok first brand, like look, at the end of the day, I am a creator myself. 80% of our content, it's my face. So it's this interesting world that I get to like live in and understand and have a lot of like, I have so much respect for what you guys are doing because I have to make content. And it's like, it's a grind, you guys. It's a grind. But we love it, right?
Yeah.
So I think like, look, instead of reading the news in the morning, I get on the platform and I'm saving stuff. What is trending? What is like working really well? What ideas can I make for the day? Like I'm using the platforms I'm studying. And then that strategy is coming from me down. For I think a lot of brands, they have like a young intern that's creating content.
Yeah.
And you're just like, this isn't really connecting holistically. Like we literally every year get our entire company together. And during that time, I have breakout sessions that we're creating TikToks. Like it is a part of our culture at Poppi. Like social first, digital first, culture first.
I love that. I want to talk a little bit about you guys being the number one soda sold on Amazon. What was the first retailer you ever gotten?
Yeah, it was definitely Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And was it through that connection at the farmer's market?
Yeah, so we gotten locally in the 14 Whole Foods.
As Mother Beverage?
As Mother Beverage. And then when we did the rebrand and launched Poppi, we went into all the Whole Foods nationwide. And then we really, because we're a Better For You product, we started in like the Better For You. And then once we launched Target, I mean, Poppi was made for Target.
Yeah.
It like kills it at Target. It's like one of our top retailers. So yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, definitely Whole Foods.
What are your top retailers?
Yeah, so we do really well in Target, Publix, which you probably don't know.
Oh, I love Publix.
Okay.
Pub Sub?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Exactly. Poppi and a Pub Sub.
Poppi and a Pub Sub. Oh my gosh, that was me this year in Florida.
Yes.
That was me.
Yes.
I did
that. We do really well in Kroger, Costco. We're big digitally first, like Amazon brand. And then we're so excited, like really leaning into Walmart this year because Walmart is like cool again. I know people.
Oh, Walmart has always been that girl.
It's like I
eyes.
know. It's like people like sleep on her, but she is it. And so like we're gonna go big and do some really fun stuff with Walmart this year.
Oh, that's awesome. Middle of America is gonna eat that up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. I mean, Walmart's everywhere. So we love it.
Wow. Okay, so is your number one retailer Amazon?
It's a pretty good mix. We're very omni-channel company. So like back in the day, it used to be like all retailer, all Amazon. We're like we have a very even mix between online and in-store.
And what did that jump look like once you rebranded? What did the sales look like? Because I know it was like an insane
Yeah, I mean, like basically,
jump.
Like Mother was like nothing, right? So like we speak about these things like within Poppi. So we launched Poppi right when COVID started, and then, just leaning into like the Amazon portion. It was like, if you think of it, everyone was really concerned with getting like toilet paper on the shelf in grocery stores.
Yeah.
So we had to lean in on Amazon really for the first like 4 months of launch because like, yes, we had Whole Foods roll out, but they were like, we can't put you on shelf right now. Like, wait a second, which is fine. I get it. And then people were pantry loading. We were shelf stable. Amazon isn't like in every home. Everyone wanted delivery. No one wanted to go out. So it's like one of those moments. And then we had an episode that we had aired with our rebrand on, like update on Shark Tank.
Yeah, and I watched that.
It hit April of 2020, second month of lockdown.
Oh my gosh.
So we had a national commercial while everyone's stuck at home.
Was that on cable television?
It was on cable.
Okay.
And our sales went from like March to April from like 7,000 to 250,000
You're
just on
kidding.
Amazon, like overnight. And it was just like, oh my gosh. It opened our eyes to being like digital first, like right out the gate. And
were you on TikTok at the time?
No. Well, kind of. I was like one of the first brands to get on, like back in 2019.
Yeah.
But I was like post and then I would dabble and then wait 2 months. But I really leaned in 2020 when everyone else kind of got in. But I was like one of the first brands. But yeah, I mean, now we've really leaned into Amazon, and now we are the number one selling soda on Amazon. And we've been the number one for like a year and a half. Like it isn't like a blip. Like it's crazy.
It's bananas.
Yeah. It's like pinch me.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane. How many people do you have working for you?
We have around 130.
Wow.
And if you think of it, like March 2020, it was 2 people. Me and my husband. And now we have 30. And we're going to probably grow past that this year. And we have an HQ in Austin, but the majority live just across the U.S. Like I think there's like 15 of us in Austin.
And do they work from home?
Most, I would say like the sales team, like you're out at the grocery store. So like we'll have like a rep in, Florida that's like hitting all the Publix. They live local there. So it depends.
What do you feel like have been your biggest takeaways from starting this entire business? Like you're a successful brand. Like you guys are crushing it. What do you feel like are some lessons you've learned that you would like to share for someone that's about to start on this journey?
So if you're going to start a company and you're starting on this journey, I highly recommend you get on and start telling your story now.
On like TikTok?
On social. I mean, Reels kill it too. I will say a lot of people, when starting a company, they want to be perfect. Let people into those failures. If you don't know what color you're going to do, if you start talking about it now, you get your community involved, help them pick what color, what packaging. I'm telling you, like and it's free.
Yeah.
It's $0 to get on and tell your story.
It's like a free focus group.
It's crazy. And I just don't think enough. And people get discouraged by 200 views or whatever, but it's fine. Like I got 200 views. Now we have 2 billion views on TikTok.
It's insane.
Like you got to start. And I know it's easier said than done. But I know, and that's always my number one piece of advice. Get on now, like yesterday.
Looking back, what do you feel like was one of your greatest struggles with creating Poppi?
I would say we've grown so fast, and it goes back to nobody has ever seen this before. The things that are like we'll make a decision, and like 3 hours later, something has changed, and it's like wildly different because of something that just happened. That like our growth is like crazy, so like that like scaling really fast during COVID when you have an aluminum shortage. Supply chain craziness, your triple digit growth year over year. Like it's just been like craziness. So yeah, you could also be like, oh yeah, poor you, first world problems, but it makes you think differently. It makes you be disruptive, be creative. You don't have time. You got to move quick. You got to be agile. Like I always say, the number one piece of advice that I always tell people as a leader is to be agile. Learn to embrace change, because if you just kind of do stuff the same over and over, you're never going to like disrupt or do something. But being an agile leader is like one of the most powerful things that you can do.
When's a time that you had to embrace change, but it was really hard for you too?
I think it goes into, I brought on a coach this year for my self-development. And it was like one of those things where I was running the marketing department at Poppi for a really long time, and we had my husband was the CEO. And we sat back one day and we were like, this is growing so fast, we need help. And we went to the board and we were like, hey guys, we think we should bring in a CEO and a CMO. Which as founder, like most founders like to hold on to it till the end until you kill your company, which, it's like, it's mine. Versus I was like, this is really big. I'd rather bring someone in that's done this before and I can learn from them. That was, it wasn't easy. Many days crying and what have we done or why did we do this? But like working through that, now we're on the other side of it and we have great leaders in place. So we have a great CEO we've brought in.
Who's your CEO?
So proud. His name's Chris Hall.
Where's he from?
He used to work at Sparkling Ice. He had been there for 14 years. He was in the military before. Like, he just knows the beverage industry. He's like lifelong. It's amazing.
Were you interviewing people for this role?
Yeah.
Oh,
and we were part of the process, which I think a lot of founders don't. They'll either someone will replace them, or the board will move it, rather than it was like us realizing it at the right time. And then it was the same thing as like my strength is being really creative. And so I actually still run all of our creative and brand at Poppi. But then we brought in a CMO that can do all of the other things that I'm like, I don't need to be worrying about like what media we're running on Amazon and the app, like all of that stuff, or like worrying about what shopper programs are going on at Target. Like they're all so extremely important, but that's not my strength. So I think like through our growth, learning that and stepping back and then just being like, wow, we've brought in some really amazing people and we have a great team has been a really big learning process for me personally as a founder, which I tell some other founders that and they're just like, wow, I really need to do the same. But who knows if they will.
Did you ever think you were going to be a founder of like a insanely successful brand like this?
I always wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Okay. How'd you know that?
My dad was an entrepreneur. My dad, like, he started back in the 80s and he was like, made millions and lost millions. Like he loves the grind, the ride, the building. He never did it for the money. So like that's always been like kind of my mentality. I've never done, nothing has ever driven any decision I've ever done at Poppi to get rich. I do this because I freaking love it. And I love chaos. So I think there's a part of me that's easy to be like, no, I never know. But like, I'm also like, yeah, I am that badass bitch that can do this. You know what I mean? So it's
like, I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I knew. But
like I knew I was destined for some kind of greatness, but it was never driven by like, I'm going to be rich.
Yeah.
Which is really, I think, important. Because I think if you do anything, you're not going to make the right decisions. You're going to be budget focused and you're not going to take risks and you're not going to say, screw it, let's spend a ton of money on a Hamptons house. If you're like, the money, it's like type of these situations. So I don't know. But I don't think I could have ever dreamed this to this level.
What's the biggest risk you've taken with your business?
So many. Like right now we're, constantly doing something like left and right, but I don't know. We're a very risk driven company from constantly like take the apparel you were like, I'm obsessed with the robes. So once again, one of
sick and obsessed, Allison.
Like most brands create swag that's like, cool, put a logo on, thanks. I'm gonna put it in the trash. Like, or recycle. Let's reuse.
Or donate.
Thank you. But I do think I was like, no, I want us to have like, if we're going to do it, I want to do it right. So once again, everyone's like, Allison, you're crazy. Just get like a Bella and Canva shirt. And I was like, no, I found a fashion house. I found a manufacturer. We cut, sewed, dyed. Every piece of swag I designed with my team. It's like and everyone at the longest time was like, you're crazy, stop. Like this is taking so much time. And then now it's like, we have the whole thing. We do drops and it's like this cool thing. It's part of the brand. It's a brand building. Everyone's like, hell yes, this is amazing. So like that was a really big risk. And then like getting on TikTok was a pretty big risk. Like I got a lot of pushback at the beginning to get on
From
TikTok.
who?
Just like, it wasn't the way you do it. Brands aren't on there. So like from a lot of people, like you should be on Instagram. Like why are you focusing on this platform that people are dancing on? It was like, so there's a few things that I pushed like with the apparel or like the TikTok. It was like really,
I was a dance major.
Yeah, I can do this. Oh, believe me, I've definitely danced.
I can renegade, babe.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I want to wrap this up. It has been such an honor having you here. I've learned so much and you've shared so much knowledge. Big question of it all is, what are you doing right now to make moves in your life and with your brand?
I think this is the year of go big. I think we've gone big before, but this is it. Like we're going to the masses. We're doing cable commercials. We are, launching international. We're going to Canada. We're going to Mexico. Like this is our year. And I know it sounds like crazy because we've already grown so fast, but like I feel it. So making moves with that. And then in return, my schedule's bananas. So I need to self-care. So like for real, like I know that sounds crazy for making moves, but self-care is like so important. And the type of self-care is probably not like what you typically, like I'm not talking like get my nails done and go to the gym, but it's like get sleep. I need sleep this year.
Yeah, I was going to ask that actually. What do you do when you're like, I need a minute to be sane? Like, what are your hobbies? Like, do you have hobbies outside of work?
I have 3 children, so no. I will say I don't have a ton of hobbies. Like, we're so busy. And then, like, all my other time I give to the kids because I travel a lot. But sometimes I just want to like watch TV. Like it's like the
Yeah.
boring, typical. I want to go to bed. I want to watch
What
TV.
shows do you like?
I mean, I love reality. I love the Kardashians. I love Bravo. Any Housewives.
Do you like Housewives? Oh
Any
my
of
God, I love
them. I mean,
Housewives.
come on. It's just like I need that in my life. That is my release. Like, leave me alone.
What Real Housewives franchise do you like the best?
Oh, it's so hard to beat out Beverly Hills. But I will say, I mean, Salt Lake is killing it right
Who's
now.
your favorite on Salt Lake?
Oh, I don't want to say. I mean, I love me Lisa.
Well, she was just holding a Poppy.
I know. Oh, and she's such a good Poppy partner, but like she's genuinely a very kind person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's
That's
like
great.
She like well, we were doing Sundance this weekend, and she of course is Sundance queen.
Oh my gosh.
And
of course.
she was doing an event. We're like, we're doing this thing. Can you come over? And she like popped over like last minute. Like she's like, of course for my Poppy crew. Like she's so kind.
Oh my God, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the Salt Lake City grind right now. It's a whole other ball game.
It's so good. But
It's so impressive.
I will even watch like old like from 10 years ago. Like I don't care.
Me too.
Give it to me.
So you like to
Just
like
check out.
Yeah, check out and get sleep. Do you have any like sleeping rituals? Like how many hours of sleep are you getting a night?
I mean, last night like got 4.
No. Allison.
No, but it's hard with like the time change. But I will say like what it's trendy right now is this Sleepy Girl mocktail.
Yes.
You know, with you cherry tart juice, you do magnesium with Poppi, a little fresh lemon. I genuinely love magnesium.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I need to try it.
And like I've done it in the pill form, and it's great. Like you don't have to take too much because it can upset your stomach, so don't go wild. But it really makes a huge difference in sleep. And so, like, I like it in the Sleepy Girl mocktail vibes versus, like, choking down horse pills.
Yeah, same.
So,
One last question. What about your kids? How the heck do you manage? People say, you said on a podcast, you were like, you can have it all. But how the heck are you managing that? Because I cannot even imagine having my job right now and having a kid.
yeah, so 3 kids, 1, 5, and 7, 3 boys. They are, and also, like, when I go public places, people are like, ooh, your kids, like they are those kids that are like running around screaming, like punching, bloody lips, like black eyes. Like my 1-year-old is like tackling people. I'm just like
Travis Kelce.
They're big boys too. Let me just say my last was 10 pounds at birth.
Oh my gosh.
But I will say it goes back to that chaos. Like I love it, but I sometimes like don't know. Like I have a good support system. Like my mom is wonderful. She's like the best. Like she's watching our kids now.
Where are your kids right now?
They're in Austin
Okay.
with my mom, and it's crazy because Steven, my husband, the founder, he's in Salt Lake, like on a production line. I'm out here for a week, so like all of it. So it's all about support with childcare, and then we travel with them a lot. Like I'm one of those people that like take my kids with me a lot.
Really?
When I was had my last, I went on the road on a press tour, and I took my 6-month-old to 17 cities in his first 6 months of life because I was still breastfeeding. And I was like, I'm going to do that. Like, I mean, no one's Shark Tank pregnant. Like, I just do it. But is it easy? Am I exhausted? 100%. Like 100%. And I think people that say that they're not and they're all perfect, like they're lying.
And do you bring your mom with you on the road to help?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of times. They're a little bit older now. He'll be 2 in March. So it's better. Like they're in school, the older ones. So it's a little bit harder. And so they'll do quick in and outs like one day. Like if I have to go to QVC or be on QVC, I'll fly in Wednesday and come back Thursday.
Oh,
So,
amazing.
yeah.
Are there any like products or things that you use as a mom that are like game changing for you?
I think like with little ones, it was like strapping them to you. Can do like anything and everything. Like I think a lot of parents are like against screens, right? Like that's a whole thing. So I think like as long as you have like a balance, it's not the end of the day. I think people get like really caught up on that. Like we take them away for 2 weeks and then they'll give them back. It's like, it's whatever, like get over it.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and then I think like another really big hack is just like always having a ton of snacks. Like I'm a snack queen. Like I'm a Costco mom. It's like the cheese, the string cheese, the goldfish, like kids, if they get hungry, they're hangry. Like I also have to like keep snacks for like my husband too. Like just,
I mean, I get hangry.
I'm a snacker.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. Well, this has been so fantastic. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us.
Thank you.
I am so obsessed with your brand and you, and the sky's the limit for you guys.
Thank you for having me.
Where can everyone buy Poppi and follow you?
So you can get Poppi everywhere from Costco, Target, Amazon, Kroger. I mean, basically go to our store locator, and then of course on our socials, drinkpoppy.com.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. We love you guys, and be sure to make someone else's day this week. Peace. See you later.